Look at him. Look at him get down there. Trying to get down low. I knight you, Sir Prince Charming. It is almost noon, and these are the first deer that I've seen all day. I looked out, and there were 6 of the does and fawns out there, my little herd of 6. And they were all feeding at the feeder. Now I looked in the background. Here came Mr. Big. Here came Mr. Big swinging up through the woods there. I don't know really who that is. That's not Forrest. Ooh, it's that big wild one. It's that big wild one, and he's heard me talking or here's something he didn't like. I have the dog door in because of wind out of the north, and it's down. It's 18 degrees right now. It's afternoon. These are the first deer that I've seen. But something has spooked the deer, and they're all running around. But Nellie is in here with me, so I think that big buck got spooked a little bit, and that might have spooked the does and fawns. He come in and sort of took over the feeder. They ought to get back up there and eat and leave him out there while he's a little bit spooked. I don't know what really spooked him. Nothing really out there. Apache's not out there. I'm not out there. Benelli's not out there. But that's that big giant buck right there. Like I said, I looked out there, and my 6 little does and fawns were out there eating. And then I looked up and saw him coming from pretty far out. He'd come charging in there, and they run all away from him. But now he's spooked and run out. Now they're all kind of spooked. But they'll come back. That's a pretty nice sight right there. Just looking out through the woods and seeing that. That's pretty. And they're going to ease on back up here probably, unless they've cleaned up most of the food. And some of them are kind of walking away. Some of them are wanting to stay. But it got down to 6 degrees last night for the second consecutive night. We still have 2 more days of this cold weather. And then it's supposed to be in the 40s for a couple, 2 or 3 days. And then back down in the 20s again for highs. Look at that big deer. They fluff up in the wintertime and look even larger than normal. He is a big, pretty guy. I almost looked like I almost saw a collar there. That could be. I think I did get a glimpse. That might just be Forrest. I don't think so, though. If it is, he still has love on his mind. Well, whomever he is, he still has love on his mind. Doesn't know if it's Forrest or not. Went behind that tree and didn't come back out. But I thought when he left there, it's not him way out there, is it? That's just a doe. I thought when he left, or when I saw him in here close, I could not see any. The Forrest's neck has got so big that collar's really almost down under his fur. I don't see him out there anywhere. I see his horns coming out right there. Antlers, Jimmy, antlers. I know the difference, girls and guys. Doe. He might have gone on off. They do that a lot when you're hunting. They get right behind a tree, sometimes right where you're about to take a bow shot. They get right behind a tree, and then they walk straight away and don't ever come back. That's not them up there. The last I saw him, he was behind that tree, and he's not come out on either side. More does. No, this little doe's going to come on up there. I'm going to come up there and get me something to eat, boss. The rest of them can walk off all they want. Huh. Of course, I've heard it said that a person cannot stand still without moving anything anywhere nearly as long as a deer can stand still without moving anything. And evidently that big buck, which might be Forrest, evidently he just simply went behind that tree right there and stopped and is not moving anything. Huh. Well, I guess I can quit looking. But the does are coming back to the feeder. Yeah, they're all going to wander back in here. Yeah, they're beautiful. They're beautiful. I can't believe they fetched Forrest. He would run like that, though. I think that's that other deer. Like I was just imagining things when I thought I saw that collar. Comes another pretty little girl in there. Aren't they pretty? I love them. It's all right, little buddy. You don't have to run off. Yeah, we finally see a buck show up in the yard. Oh, the wind's blowing. Probably not good. I'm gonna have a lot of wind noise in here. That wind is trying to shift around a little bit, evidently. It's blowing from the north, but it's blowing, I guess it's blowing so hard it's just going around. Little buddy's looking good. He got startled when I come out. That is the only buck I've seen today. This is a afternoon. It's finally got up to 21 degrees, and which still feels pretty doggone cold out there. But you can see that little buddy, even though he was born in the pen, running around with Wild Child and little Whitey for a long time, he's got pretty wild and wary, which he needs to get. That's exactly what needs to happen. And Phil, don't know what happened to little Whitey. He still has not yet come back, and when that happens for quite a little while, you go by a month or two like we have, it's very unlikely that he'll show back up, but it's always possible. So we always keep hoping. But little buddy's looking good out there this morning on this cold day, eating a rye. And I kind of thought when I walked out here I might see TC and Forrest. I haven't seen them. Actually, haven't seen them in a couple of days. So this cold weather's changing things around quite a bit, no doubt about that. It's so cold out here I can't hold my telephone call straight. But he's looking mighty nice out there. Little buddy, you're looking pretty good. You just keep on learning how to live in the wild. We have had almost no bucks at all the last 2 or 3 days in this severe cold weather. And we know that they're probably okay. We look out here this morning, we see TC. We do have ducks. We do have ducks. We just zoom in on those ducks there a second because we have lots and lots of ducks. You can see plenty of ducks out there just as far up that bank as you can see. They're on this north shoreline, ice on the north shoreline. But they're on the north shoreline trying to get out of that wind. There are ducks, and they have down feathers that will keep them very warm, but it's still cold. That water temperature is hovering in the 30s, obviously. You can see the big patch of ice right there. And last night, I opened the door just looking out to see if there was any deer around, and there must have been 1,000 ducks. It was right in that area right there that we're looking at right by the dock. And they just started flying, and they flew, and I just was amazed. It's really dark. Look right down here a little closer, just barely see him, but there he looked like he heard me. Well, he does hear me talking, even though I'm inside. 7 degrees out there this morning. That's Mr. Forrest. Hadn't seen him in 2 or 3 days. His father, TC. And then this little buck that started running around with him. Little bitty tiny rascal. And he probably really won't have much horns, but you can't ever tell. We don't know what kind of genetics is in him. Doesn't look like great genetics with those little old bitty forked horns that he has there. But you never can tell. You know, I saw a deer the other day that had a tag in its ear that was not one of our deer. Got through the fence somehow, or come across the road, or over from the east to the west. But he had small antlers also, forked horns, at 4-point we would call it. And had red tags in both ears. He looked like a Christmas tree running around out there. And he was with another pretty good sized deer. And 3 or 4 does, and wilder than a March hare. But anyway, he's definitely got good genetics. Not our genetics, but some good genetics. So he might turn out to be a big one. But it's great to see some bucks. And these guys are letting the house break the wind from them. We did put hay in the bottoms that would allow them to get down and lay in that hay and have a little extra warmth in this severe cold. As we've talked about, their hair is designed to fluff up with air as an overcoat. So it's all good for them. They're enjoying breakfast. They're enjoying that bright sunshine shining down on their fur, I'm sure. On the other side of the house, we find 2 more bucks. It gives us 5 that's here right now, 3 in the front, 2 in the back. And of course, his Buddy. Got the little green tag in his ear. Buddy right there, doing great. And that's a little 1-horn spike right there. I guess maybe he has 2 horns. I keep saying 1. Every time I look out there, it looks like 1. He may have 2. I don't know. But he's a little guy. So we got 2 little guys. Those are totally wild deer hanging around. The other 3 are deer that was raised here. the oldest buck on the place that we know of, he may not be, but probably is TC, Thundercloud, Forrest's father. And that was that little guy right there. It's his very first horns. Very little, tiny little spikes, and he may grow up to be something big, though. You never can tell. And then Buddy, who will grow up to be something big. We know if he can grow up, he definitely will end up being a big one. Absolutely no doubt about that. And they're out there working on the feeder. Evidently, the bucks in the front yard did not hear that feeder. That little guy is pretty fat and pretty good size, you know, but he just has no antlers. But he probably will someday be like the Lion King, maybe. But they seem to be weathering the brr weather real good. Don't you look at that. That is Forrest fighting through the fence with an antlerless buck, Prince Charming. And Prince Charming just was fighting like crazy. He's pushing that fence over. Look at him. Look at him. He says, I'm bigger than you are, even though I don't have any weapons. Look at him. Look at him get down there. Trying to get down low. I knight you, Sir Prince Charming. Look at Prince Charming pushing on that fence. That's a lot of weight pushing on that fence, too. Takes a really good fence. Look at that. Is that something or is that something? Trying to get down low and push. He's really pushing Forrest. He's fighting him. Saying, you don't even have any antlers, big boy. I was really worried this fall when Prince Charming got out and trying to get him back in the enclosure. Forrest got in, and then both of them were in there together. We were between them, Apache and I, trying to get Forrest out. We're worried about him attacking us to get to Prince Charming. We got to Prince Charming worrying about him killing Prince Charming. But all turned out well. They really wanting to fight. That's why Prince Charming has no antlers. Now, some places, look at him. Look at him. He put them, that's probably how he broke his two tines off. He's got broken off right there. Probably how that happened. Of course, he's had a lot of fights in the wild, too. Prince Charming's not giving up, is he? He is not giving up. Get your eye put out, Prince Charming. Be careful. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that something? That's crazy. Absolutely wild. Get away from my women. Get away from my women. You're not allowed in here. He said, they put me in there to do your work, white boy. Oh, mercy. That is cool. Well, they'll probably continue that for a while. Prince Charming said, this is my pen and I'm protecting it. How cool is that? As the air temperature finally gets above 32 degrees here on Twin Eagle Ranch. I think we had over 100 hours, not 100 days, thank the Lord. Some of y'all might have 100 days below freezing, I don't know. I think that might be, I don't know who that is. It's going away, though. I don't know if that's going away pretty rapidly. That's Fat Boy right there. Big, giant Fat Boy, I believe. Golly, look at that rack. That's only an 8-point deer. Could be a 9. I can't tell for sure. I'm not sure he's anybody that we know, but I think it is. That's our little spike. Or is that even a spike? Is that a doe? I thought I saw some antlers on it. It's in the shade. I think he's I'm just not sure. His head's in the shade of that tree. I can't really tell whether I'm looking. And that big boy, he's going to go on off too. It's the first bucks actually I've seen out there in 2 days. He's going the same route that other one is. Kind of leads me to believe there's a girl out there somewhere. I think that is that little buck. Just can't tell for sure. Anyway, that was 2 giant bucks for sure. One of them might have been Forrest. Maybe not. They were both big. Might just be both totally wild, which we always like to see.